Hey, can you hear me? Hello. I'm not getting any audio from you guys, though. Just make sure that's nothing on my end. Hey, Karen, can you hear me?
I can now. I was beginning to wonder if I would. Can you hear
Can't
me?
hear anything.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me now, JD? Nope, I don't think he's here.
You muted?
No. I have no idea how I show up to this meeting. Like if they can see my face. Ah, got it. Oh, it's on now. JD, can you hear me now?
All right, can you hear me, Karen?
I can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear us?
Okay, now I can hear people. All right, it was something on my end I had to sort out. Okay.
Hey JD, you can start whenever you're ready.
All right. Okay. Everyone can hear me fine. Karen, you can hear me fine?
Yes, we can hear you.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So welcome everyone. Today's meeting is Thursday, July 24th. We are the Danvers Accessibility Commission. We're hybrid tonight. Some people in the Toomey room, some of us at home. So I just want to say welcome to everyone. We have someone from the town with us. I don't know if you want to take a second to just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve King. I am the town engineer representing the Department of Public Works tonight and also the town liaison for the Accessibility Committee. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, Steve. Good to have you. All right, so minutes approval. We don't have any minutes to approve, so we're going to skip right over that. Next up, we have public comment. Anyone from the public here today?
No, there's nobody.
Okay. All right. So moving right along, we've got the document. I mean, I don't know if we want to, Christy, you can jump in here, but I don't know if we want to start with kind of an update on the meeting we had with the town manager and then go into the document, or if we just jump right into the document.
Prepared to do that today?
That's okay. That's all right.
Thank you.
I mean, we kind of sent out the notes from it, so people are kind of aware. Then let's just jump into the document itself. So I'm going to share my screen. Actually, before I share my screen, I want to open the floor to everybody. Did anybody kind of have any, burning thoughts or anything like that on the document itself?
I didn't have anything burning. I think as I went through, there were just lots of notes about this is not accessible. We need to change this.
Right.
I think that was the recurring theme that came through. I guess the one thing that I had, and we've talked about this, is around it specifically talked about the accessibility at like the pavilion, the Rotary Pavilion. And it talked about the gap between the parking and the ramp to go up to the pavilion. But I started to think a little bit more globally around the events that occur at the library. And I know we've talked about this, that it's not just the ramp up, but actually it kind of serves a purpose as like a stage area where music occurs, things like that. So I wondered if that was a piece that was, when we think about the presentation of how that space is used, if additional components needed to be in there. So that was my one thought. I guess I said I didn't have a burning thought, but that was my thought.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a unique space as far as I feel like if there's something to be done to it, it's not a minor thing.
Right.
The grass there is not great at all. A couple paths wouldn't really make it that accessible.
Right.
It would make it accessible as far as traveling through it, but not as far as like enjoying the space.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, any other thoughts on the document before I jump in?
I just have one thing about the library and accessibility. I know that they've improved like the sidewalk in front of the stairs at the library, but the ramp itself into the library doesn't have a continuous railing.
Yeah.
And so when you come out of the library and you go down and I'm supposed to be able to follow the railing, I end up in the grass.
Yeah, especially if you're
Off to
going
the
down a
walkway.
decline. Yeah.
Right. And so that was just something, when she was talking about the library and the accessibility there, I just didn't know why they didn't address that as well, I guess, when they redid the walk in front of the library stairs.
Right. Well, that's actually a pretty good segue into this next thing. One sec, I forgot this is Teams. I'm used to Zoom. Okay, here's the share button. Screen 2. So, everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
If you could just
Okay.
enlarge it, though.
Enlarge it.
We see the agenda.
Oh, yeah, just the agenda. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'll punch in. So,
Teams is funny that way.
so just kind of like quick little refresher. Here, let me pull up my keyboard to zoom in. Okay. So, quick little refresher. I mean, we've seen the document in, us being the accessibility commission. I would call this incredibly inaccessible as a document. It's very hard to navigate and look at. And something like this, I think we can all agree, is something that needs to evolve and grow. It needs to be alive. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a living document, which is why, you know, going through and scrolling, there's no like, you know, links to jump to certain pages, stuff like that. It makes it very hard for someone like me to using like a head mouse to be able to kind of explore it. So what I started to do was I used to work with a lot of these like kind of organizational productivity project managing programs. So I was just kind of testing some out. And this right here is Asana. I don't know if anybody has heard of this before.
Yes.
Why does it have that huge white border around it? It doesn't need to have that. Then it could at least be bigger. But anyway, I don't know. Does anybody know how to get?
We can't see what you're seeing, I think, JD.
What's on the screen right now?
We see a black screen predominantly. And then it
With
looks like there's to do, in progress, done.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you.
Okay.
So this is kind of a productivity program called Asana. I don't know if you can read this on the side here under projects.
Yes, we can kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've kind of broken it down into our open spaces, our public buildings, sidewalks, rail trail. And this is just a start. You know, we can add this, but this would be, you know, kind of a living space, I felt like, where this stuff could be edited, it can be moved around, it's easy to access. So just kind of jumping into the open space part, over here to the right is where it kind of jumps in. So like you can click on them, opens these up. So looking at open space, we've got, I put in Brad Street and I put in Choate Farm so far. So you can see these little tags. I'm gonna click on Brad Street, that pulls it up over here. And then you can kind of have it assigned to someone. I don't know if that's gonna be, that's great if, you know, we're gonna have someone go out and do maybe like a walking audit or something like that. And then it's assigned to them so that they can go in here and maybe add some stuff. But I marked this one as high priority, kind of based on the traffic and just the stuff that could be addressed there. So down here we kind of have a description, which I pulled a lot from the document and then added some. So we've got the name of the place, we've got the location, the size, and who ultimately has authority over this space, which I think is really important for us to know and for anybody to know who's going to be talking about these projects or working on them. We've got a little description. We've got the amenities, the accessibility, kind of just a snapshot. All of this can grow and expand. I did kind of like a rating system, which is kind of arbitrary right now. It's not like I don't have like some kind of like standardization for it. So that could be there or not, and we could talk about that. And then down here is where we kind of put our recommendations. There's also room for us to add comments if we want to, like, if we're not sure if it's an improvement necessarily or not, we could put it in a comment. And then if we decide, we can copy and paste that up into there. And this would live like this is all dedicated to Brad Street Park. And we can edit it, we can put stuff on that. And then this project can be dragged, like say, you know, we're making progress on some of this stuff. We can put it over into in progress and then to done. But if that doesn't make sense, we could get more granular. Brad Street Park could be the category, and then the to-do could be all the specific stuff for Brad Street. But these are just kind of ways I'm looking at it. You know, I've got Choate Farm here too. I've got that as a lower priority. And then I've got kind of like a template that we can fill with the other parks, public buildings. I did the Peabody Institute Library. You know, we've got some kind of stuff here. So like the sunken floor and the elevator. priority level high just because it's a very frequently used spot as a library and as just a meeting space. So this is kind of just what I've been working on just as my idea for how this document could become more accessible. Maybe this thing is like, you know, we have access to it, but then the general public could have access to it just as a visual, not as a way for them to edit it or anything. And then they could see some of the progress. And when we receive incidents reports, that stuff can get broken down and put into this where it's appropriate. Another one I looked at was Trello, which is a little different. It's a little simpler. So it would just be to do, in progress, done. You know, we have our open space. Here's Brad Street. You can put a little picture there. Similar kind of layout though, as far as, you know, we have the description, we can do the priority level. We can have comments, the comment could be an incident report, which we can then like work to get into this. Or we can put our own, you know, lived experience walking through this place or exploring it. But that's kind of what I've been working on as far as the ADA SETP document, just trying to figure out a way to make it just feel more interactive in a way. So I wanted to open the floor to see if anybody had any thoughts on that.
I have a question, JD. Do you hope that this is something that the Accessibility Commission kind of maintains? Were you hoping that the town would work on this too, or is it what is your vision for how broadly this would get applied?
I mean, it would be kind of, I feel like it would be an echo chamber if it was just us. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the town needs to be involved in this. I mean, Jill talks about wanting transparency. This would be a big step in that direction, because then projects could go here. It would seem a lot more organized. That document was trash. I'm just going to be honest. And this is, in my opinion, is a far, far, far better way for that to exist. And so I want the town to 100% adopt this and utilize it. And we would have access to it to add stuff in. Not necessarily, we wouldn't need to move the projects around because we're not physically doing them unless there is a project that we're directly working on. Because this could expand beyond just this. You know, we could have our own one just for our commission as well, or just our own section. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm thinking about it.
Okay. And Steve, do you guys already have a project management system, or like how do you? So going from this document to what you were doing in your department, what is that path?
Right, so that's a great question, because I wanted to understand how we were going to kind of integrate or interface between this and what we have now. So we have a work order system. So I think it may be best if, I think it's always good to have for the commission to have something internally that you guys work on as far as a document that anyone can access from the public. And maybe that funnels to the town through our work order system. So now if you've got these listed to-do items and specifics, you can kind of clip that out and put it right to our work order system. So then it generates a work order for us to go and make a repair or create a project, and or be able to say, you know, is this something we can do is this a week item that we can fix in a week, or just becomes a larger capital project? And then we can work with you on further developing the scope and timeline of that project to be able to move it through those different phases to do in progress and done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to be integrated by DPW itself, more just the town. So it's a little bit higher level. You know, it's not as granular in terms of getting into the actual specs of, you know, a ramp or something in that location. But this would be an easier pipeline for us to have that info to then get it to DPW so that, you know, they have an idea of what people might be barking up our tree about, or the loudest about, or, you know, just to be able to kind of have an idea and not feel so untethered from the accessibility projects that are actually happening in the town.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it also holds some accountability. And
Totally.
I think that, I mean, and also illustrate successes. And I think this is a great way to do that.
Yeah.
I also, and I didn't mention it when you first were asking about our kind of burning questions, but this ties nicely into what mine was, which was about the ADA coordinator and grievance procedure. Right now, if somebody has an issue specific, whether it be services or facilities, they can put in a complaint through the form on the town website, which goes to a spreadsheet that one person can access, which is not us right now.
Right.
It's supposed to be responded to in 10 days. And if we had a way of like getting that to us and then be able to track it in something like this, that could get rid of some of those like blockages, I think, with the grievance procedure.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that
I
have a
agree with that
response time
100%.
once you put something into how long it's been in there?
This says it's 10, oh, that,
Yeah,
Asana?
yeah.
I think you can set it whatever you want.
Yeah, we can set due
Project
dates.
management.
Yeah, due dates are no problem on there. But yeah, if us having access to those grievance reports is a massive, massive thing that I think we should absolutely 100% have access to. And that would be like Chrissy said, a nice little pipeline from that to this document. We have kind of like a good overview instead of just like a bunch of thoughts rattling around in our heads or notes in different places. This is a kind of a tiered organization of the stuff we want to work on or see worked on. And then we can give DPW probably the best information about it because we kind of have a template. And, once we actually put one through and see what that process looks like, then we could refine it even more to make it even more seamless.
Yeah, one of the questions that I had, even in reviewing this document, is like, this is kind of like the audit, right? But what is the prioritization of the projects? Like, how is that determined? And how is that then linked to, like, budgetary aspects of it? Like, that's what my brain started to, like, think, like, more globally in that way. Like, how do you bring this to fruition, and where are projects that currently exist, like the curb cutouts by the middle school that recently have gone in, because I think, when we think about the scope of these things, like that's a huge amount of money and investment. And like, so it starts to make me think like, are there particular grants, like what are the pieces that kind of lay into us being able to meaningfully chip away at these things?
I think specifically to the newest curb cuts, we had applied for a grant, ADA accessible grant. So that was primarily focused based on our submission that we had to do that area
Yep.
of the town. But that obviously that would be a huge expense. I think we've got it for just over $85,000, and we went right to work with it. But that took some planning. We've already had a contract in place from the previous year that we could roll over to this year. Some of the mass bidding laws, it may hold up timelines on certain projects depending on how large it is. So if we have contracts set up in place and we know the project ahead of time, we can really get ahead of things we need to fix. If there's certain projects, I guess, on site, as the PV library or the pavilion, that probably takes a little bit more time and more effort and financial budgetary constraints that
Right.
we need to work through before we can get that project going, which it may need to go through town meeting, which that's a process as far as like getting that in the budget, getting that through the capital expenses, getting it through the select board and warrant process through FinCom, and then getting it to town meeting. So but if we have that plan in place, if there's priority projects that you're thinking about getting done in the next year, now's the time to start refining those scope of work, so that by the time we get into the fall time, we start talking about what's happening next year, it's there, we can start planning for it. I hope that answered your question. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just, like, it's kind of, I start to think about this, and it's like, well, we can do these work orders, and I'm like, this is, like, a significant amount of money. Like, what is that? Like, is that realistic? Is that feasible, knowing that this is where we're moving toward? because this is our own audit essentially of this, right? And meeting those compliant pieces, but also like what's the feasibility and what's the priority, is that prioritization is.
We've through the, so there's kind of two documents out there. One for the open space areas, one for really the road, public right-of-ways. It's what I really manage. But then again, that can lean into the open space areas where we make some improvements. And so we try to identify at least $200,000 of spending money in each year to make purely just accessibility improvements. So knowing that small piece of money is available to use, where do you want to prioritize those projects and use it the right way?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's purely, that's a budgetary number that we came up with in our evaluation plan, which may change depending on the cost of goods and services and labor and stuff, but it's pretty much, it's right on with that cost. I had written down, I think, yeah, last year alone, we made improvements to 76 ramps, and that was just over $150,000.
It's not cheap.
No.
No, not at all.
It's not cheap, but
No.
also you think about the benefit of that, when people probably originally thought of curb cutouts and the intention of that, what is that, right, the curb cutout effect and who benefits from that? And it's so, I think, when we think about it holistically, it's so important, that
Yeah.
universal design.
Absolutely.
Right, for so many reasons, not just people who are disabled, I mean, you know, elderly people or people with strollers, I mean, whatever, it just makes it
Yep.
just easier for people.
Design for all.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a point of order, maybe? Was there a second self-evaluation plan that we got that was the whole thing? This is, because I think I just have the open spaces one.
Same, yeah.
Okay.
You should have, I
We
thought
don't.
Jen uploaded a second one from our meeting.
I don't know that we got it. So.
Oh, maybe to the website? I had just been sent
to
that
the-
from
to
Aaron
the-
Henry.
The Accessibility Commission page?
I thought so.
Ooh.
But
Oh, okay.
maybe check that out.
Okay.
It could be.
Cool, perfect.
I don't
Well,
want to
that's-
misspeak.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was part of the document that we had discussed in
Yeah,
the meeting.
yeah, no,
with
I,
Andrew.
yeah.
Yep.
I just realized, I was like, this is only the open spaces. Okay.
Well, either way, I can't imagine that the document is going to look too different formatting wise.
Yes.
But I still like the idea of us utilizing something like this and being able to put the budget in also. That can help with the prioritization, understanding, where the money is going to stretch to and where it's not, what projects could be put on the back burner, that kind of thing. I know that's not ultimately up to us, but we can at least advocate for top priority ones that we think will be the best, and then we'll be well informed in the way we present this to you because, we have this information. We know what was on the report. We know what the budget's going to be or could potentially be. And then, because ultimately we want to see these things done. So we want to make it easy for you over at DPW to be able to do that, easy for the town to do that. So we're not trying to step on any toes. We just want to, facilitate all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Any other thoughts on that before I finish up talking about it? Cool. So in lieu of that, I was thinking I would invite all of you to this. Do we want to take a vote to see if we like this, or?
I'm trying to think from a procedural standpoint if we have to vote on it. I don't think we have to vote until it's something that we want to do officially. So if you share.
Because
But I also think that we should check with, I don't know who we should check with, just to make sure that sharing of information like that on a space without it being fully public is not a violation of open meeting law.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that it would be public,
Yes.
and only you guys would have access to edit it, like, only people who are invited to edit it, but like, public can view it.
Right.
And then we could potentially, fill this out and then assign some of us to just check out, to do a little walk of some of these spaces and touch it up a little bit if, our lived experience says something different than what's listed in the document. Because that could be an easy kind of project for us to do this time of year more than when it starts to get snowy or cool down a lot.
So I have two questions then. Could we do a test with not real data? Kind of a made up, like make up a park, just so that we're not pushing that envelope of open meeting law, and or then table this until we have a chance to kind of investigate and make sure that we're following the rules.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just wondering why we would have to do a made-up one, though.
Well, I mean, if the goal is to try to test out the tool to see if we are comfortable with using that kind of tool, then it
Yeah.
won't matter what the place is. Or we could just table it until we have an opportunity to talk to somebody who's a little bit more versed in open meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any harm in you guys playing around with the tool, especially for not like the data's that's there, but like you don't have to add anything real. But I think we can just use this as is. It's not. It's nothing like there's nothing on there that you wouldn't know from just taking a walk there, or looking it up on Google. So I think as long as we're not planning or anything like that, just testing it out and playing around with the platform should be fine. But yeah, we can definitely see as far as actually going full steam ahead and integrating this, if that's okay, and how would we find that out?
I would just go ask somebody who knows more about open meeting law than me.
Yeah. Somebody here.
Yeah, you just don't want to end up debating or discussing something over that platform
Yeah.
with
Right,
all the members present on at the same time.
yeah.
Three.
If everybody all of a
Three
sudden
members.
shows up to edit at the same time.
Right, then,
Yeah.
Because it's live, those platforms.
Yeah, I mean, part of my thought was that we wouldn't be working on the same one at the same time. So like we would all be assigned different parks, and then when we met up for the meetings, that's when we discuss
Okay.
the specifics of other people's projects. That was kind of my idea as a workaround.
I wonder too about and I don't know the answer to this, but I wonder about like the integration part of it, of the town, and the tech piece of it for the tools that they use. Like I don't have enough information about that. If that is an issue, not an issue, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about that at all, but I would just talk to them and just see if they like it or not. I'm not gonna just suggest I'm probably gonna push it, because I can't imagine that they have a better thing in place. But if they do, I'll be pleasantly surprised. And this stuff is all pretty, transferable to some other.
Yeah. I was just thinking in terms of like who owns the account, like what are the permissions, like those things I start to just think about. I don't know the answers, but I start to think about
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if this can live kind of outside of that too, so it doesn't get too tangled up in maybe the stuff they don't want us to see. Granted, they did express wanting to be really transparent, which I'm going to hold them to. So that's why I want to present something like this. So if everybody's cool with me kind of reaching out to Jill and Jen and kind of seeing how this is going to go over, I could wait till you guys kind of take some time to just look at it, play with it yourself just to see how it works and if it's really obtuse to you or if it flows really easily. And then you can kind of just give me a thumbs up or not.
And so I
Then
think,
I could,
yeah, talking to Jill and Jen would solve the open meeting law question. They'll know. So
cool. Before I have that conversation though, I want to know that all of you are on board.
I like the tool. I've
Yeah.
used it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, sweet. So I will talk to them and I'll send you guys just like invites via email just so you have access to it to look around and play at it. This doesn't need to be the final forum either. Again, it's just so you can kind of have an idea of how it works. All right, I think that's all I've got on this thing for right now. Unless anybody else has, I'm going to move on.
JD, is Steve from the town. I would just say also when you're having that discussion, that if it's possible to set up some type of workflow of how you think it's going to present out from start to finish would be helpful for them to know.
Yeah, so like what we were talking about where, okay, we'll gather the information here, it'll, we'll create some kind of priority order, and then we kind of have like how we would integrate the requests from townspeople and how that would funnel towards you. Is that what you mean?
Yep, correct.
Okay, cool, yeah. No problem, yeah, I thought about that.
I think the other piece too is, that I'm starting to think about is also like not just kind of our recommendation, but how are we gathering, aside from the reporting form, input from, the community about what their priorities are as well. And maybe that's one of the conversations that's going to come up at the roundtable that's coming up next month, but around accessibility. But I think that that's a really valuable piece as well.
Oh, absolutely. We had this conversation with the town manager based around that survey I built. So that would kind of be like surveys like that would essentially be one of our main ways of reaching the town instead of having just this form, a way for us to actively reach to them rather than them coming to the website with a grievance. Because, unless the grievance is really big or the person is like always submitting stuff like that, they might not even bring to that. They might end up like going about their day and being like, it wasn't that big a deal. I shouldn't submit it. But then it screws over somebody else later on. So that's why I want to do these surveys that one's based around the open spaces, one's based around public buildings, maybe one about, sidewalks or something like that. And those could be really easy things to send out to the town so that people can fill those out. And then they can provide their contact info if they want. And then that's another way for us to reach out to people to let them know that we exist as the Accessibility Commission and see if they would like to join us or potentially attend meetings. But that's kind of my thought process on that.
I was thinking you were thinking that, but I thought it was good to say in this meeting too.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
It's a great statement.
Yeah.
Plus, you weren't at the town manager meeting,
Yes.
so that was like a good.
I
good
read the
kind
notes,
of
but I think it's a good, it's a good opportunity to bring that piece to the space.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of dots that can connect right now, and this to me feels like the way to do it. So if you guys are on board as well, and I'll bang that drum. So nothing else, then moving on if that's cool.
Yep.
So I know I have the Disability Pride Month post on there. The month's almost over, but that doesn't mean we can't do a post. I kind of haven't really thought about this outside of that one visual that I sent all of you. And I wasn't even sure where that would go, if that would go to Jen and be posted by the town and just as like a shout out to us. But yeah, I wanted to open the floor to see if anybody has any thoughts or comments on the Disability Pride Month post.
I think I missed it. So my apologies.
Yeah, it feels like
The-
the month went on and on and like on, and then I think, the Saturday is, the anniversary of ADA, so it would be really cool to highlight that on, I don't know if it's too late to get something scheduled for that day. Or even early next week.
Yeah, I mean, who here has experience getting anything posted from Jen Breaker?
I think that would be me.
And what's kind of been the timeline for something like that?
As soon as you have something, if you want to get it out specifically for a Saturday launch, tomorrow's
Friday.
Friday, so I'll try and
Friday
get it as
till
soon as you
noon.
can. Friday till noon.
I can whip something up in that time, no problem.
Yeah. And there's been a lot, I've seen a lot kind of out there in general. So I think, even just not copying what somebody did, but it's something that has been really common in the channels that I operate in this month. So I think it would be really meaningful for the town to also, amplify that
Oh, absolutely.
that benchmark.
I think it would be good to.
Yeah, I could let her know something's coming
Yeah,
her way. if
that would
you
be
wanna-
great.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be good to pair that maybe with just like a statement from us as the commission. So we've got this is the anniversary of the ADA. This is what they went through to get it done, and this is how much it's helped. We, as the Accessibility Commission, want to carry forward that torch or that mission or whatever we want to say. And we invite you to, help us on that mission by either attending meetings or, whatever. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about that.
No, I think that sounds great, and I did find the image, and I'm so sorry I dropped the ball on this.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I honestly don't even remember what's in the post anymore. I think it's like a stat about
It was, yeah,
how
it's
many
just
people get
One
Yeah.
and four.
disabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
think
yeah, the one-
even
yeah.
if it doesn't happen for tomorrow, even if it's something that happens next week, just saying over the past weekend we
Yeah. Right.
celebrated. I
Yeah.
think that's totally appropriate.
Yeah, to say too.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'll whip up something for that if you guys trust me.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If any of you have like a really strong idea for the statement, though, definitely just send me something or reach out to me. Okay.
There's been some great kind of guidelines and things that are put out by, was it ADA 35, the organization? I can't think of what
Yes.
it's called. And so
They had a
like
bunch of,
they have
social
like a
media.
whole toolkit and things, so if you wanted to even just, take a glance at that, it might generate some ideas.
Yeah. Will you just email me that so I can
Yeah.
take a look at it?
Yep.
And then, are there any? I don't know. I mean, we could have a link to our page or something. But is there any kind of like really important link maybe I should include to anything about the history of the ADA or something like that? Or am I getting too,
No, I
too
think
much
that
too much
that
crap?
organization
Yeah.
has like a whole lot of really great stuff. So it might even be something linking to that because it gives the whole history. There's, different workshops and links to different pieces of literature and things that, as long as the town felt comfortable amplifying that and not, I think that would be the question.
Yeah, I think I'll try to keep it simple to some degree so that they don't give any pushback. But I can't imagine them pushing back against holding up the history of the ADA. If they did, we'd have a big problem. So cool. So Pride Month post, I'll get on that. Any colors people want to see in it? Any colors they like? Favorite colors?
Not unless there's any
No.
colors affiliated with the ADA.
There are actually.
The
There's a
disability
flag.
pride
for it.
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
use
okay,
that.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for reminding me.
So JD, the
Um,
The email I sent on June 24th has a link to that toolkit, the 88th
Cool.
anniversary toolkit.
Yeah.
Okay, email from you on June 24th.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do you want me to resend it so that it's just right at the top?
Actually, that would be amazing. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Need all the prompts I can get.
Same here. Always.
Okay. So good on that. Moving on. Anything else? Okay. So this next one's really short. Just about the crosswalk. I had sent the updated proposal that we all kind of looked at to Aaron Henry, and he. Shoot, how do I get rid of this? He liked it, and he was like, I don't really see how this wouldn't integrate really seamlessly. But he said there was something, it was getting delayed.
He might have been talking about, we've been looking at the weather and the schedule for the downtown pavement restoration project. We just got our first draft of plans for accessibility improvements, so we're going through that right now, and I know we said we're going to share those once we've gone through our first initial review. So we don't think that pavement's really going to happen till next spring or summer.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, so we're, so yeah, I think that's what he was probably mentioning to you.
Cool. So we've got some time,
Yep.
so we can kind of push that to the back burner a little bit. I mean, we kind of have our ducks in a line for now. We didn't nail down the exact final design, but we kind of have like the general idea for it. You know, once I actually have the exact specs of the crosswalk, if all goes to plan, then I can kind of morph it for that. But yeah, for right now, everything's kind of delayed as far as that crosswalk is concerned. And then mural, nothing on that. Art Association building, Art Society building. I have not reached out to them. I kind of got caught up in this idea of expanding that document, and so I thought this could kind of be one of those projects that could live on there, that then I could reach out to them and then update once I have that project on there. So that's kind of it for the crosswalk, mural, Art Society building, unless anybody else had any questions or anything they wanted to add to that.
I was just gonna say that, one, I think it's a really complicated issue, but it may be worth reaching out to Mr. Surratt once the school year starts and have him come and be a guest and share like what the accessibility issues are.
Is Mr. Surratt also the high school art teacher?
Yes.
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 Okay, all right. I was like, I know that name for some reason, but he also is in charge of the
Well, so he-
Art Society building.
Not really, but he's the one who kind of brought up the accessibility issues to
To
Fawn,
Fawn.
about the student who has had challenges getting into the building.
Yeah, being carried in, I think specifically is what she said, or what Mr. Surratt said to her. Okay, yeah, that definitely is complicated. I mean, this is nothing new to us. There's a lot of old buildings around here, so I think if it's a building that's not going to work for all of us, it's just not going to work. Period. So yeah, we'll kind of follow. We'll circle back around to that once I reach out to them. I'll kind of give you an update. Does anybody here know Mr. Surratt personally, or?
Fawn does. Or at least,
Fawn does,
at least
okay.
has more of a connection, I think, than any of us. She's the only one with a student at the high school.
Okay, I'll just nudge her then to kind of follow up on that.
She'll love that. I'm like volunteering her to.
She's being voluntold.
Yeah.
Well, she was the one that brought it to the
Yes,
table.
yeah,
I'll let her carry that.
She'd be happy
Yeah.
to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can carry the baton to the finish line. All right, moving on, if that's cool. We have the town manager meeting discussion. This, I don't know how much there really is to discuss, since it kind of just bleeds into the other stuff we've been talking about. But, you know, it went well. I'm trying to think if I have anything really specific to say about it that I didn't already kind of bring up when we talked about the ADA plan.
I think,
But-
can I add something now that I'm
Yeah,
not,
jump in.
not in commuting brain? Is one, I'm very grateful that we had a meeting. Two, Steve's here with us as a direct result of that meeting, which is.
Hell yeah,
fantastic.
Steve.
And then also, we did bring up and will continue to bring up that we have that gap in staffing that was Jasmine's position, especially seeing the self-evaluation plan, transition plan, and knowing that in the path of ADA issue to grievance, there's this disconnect because Tim can't do all of the things. And he was in that meeting and was very specific in saying that he controls kind of this one area of ADA compliance, that is buildings. And not even town buildings, it's buildings that are being constructed.
Yeah,
by
private.
Private
okay.
entities.
Okay.
And so that means everything else that is covered under ADA, that is within the town's jurisdiction, has no contact right now. And so that is, I think, should be one of our biggest discussion points when we are at the meeting next month. But as we continue to talk to people in town and say, needs to be a priority. It's not just about the title, that we are missing and the individual, Jasmine was amazing, but also the work that position needs to do. And that's legislated needs to do. So that was my biggest takeaway, is that we really need to keep talking about this.
Yeah, that's a massive bridge that we want. And that actually kind of bleeds into the next topic, which the new chair of HRIC reached out to me. I'm blanking on his name right now. Johan?
Oh, Johan.
Yeah, Johan.
Johan is a she.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I've never heard that as a female's name. Oh, interesting.
She's fantastic.
I've
Yeah,
not met Johan.
She's lovely.
She's amazing.
Okay, cool. Well, sorry about misgendering you, Johan. I did not mean to do that. That was my own ignorance. Well, Johan reached out to me via text. She got my number from Karen, and she wants us to kind of come together with them in pushing for this DEI position, or some kind of replacement for Jasmine, because they're feeling that same missing bridge that we are. So I just wanted to I felt like it was pointless to vote, but I just want to offer the vote if we support this. And they're planning a meeting with the town manager at some point, and they want some of us to be there and support, if not all of us. So, well, I guess it
Not
can't be all of us, right? Because of open meeting law. I keep forgetting about that. So if anybody would really like to be part of this, I don't know, what do we call it? Like a subcommittee?
I think it's fair you could create a subcommittee. It would need to be no more than 2 people total.
Right. Yeah, so I think going off of that, like everybody probably, I don't want to speak for everyone, but do we all want to see this position filled? Do we want to support HRIC in this meeting?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I felt like it was pointless, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back from Johan about when that's going to occur, but she was thinking like maybe in the next couple weeks or so, during while these roundtables are still going on. So I'll have more specific information hopefully soon. I just told her I would talk to all of you tonight about that and kind of make sure we're all on the same page as far as that goes. But do we want to just kind of decide on the two people that would go in support right now, just so we have that ready to go?
I'm completely content to not be one of the people because I was in the last meeting.
I,
So-
depending on when it's scheduled, I can do it, because I couldn't go, well, I wouldn't have been able to go anyhow, because it was two-person.
Yeah, because I got
couldn't go.
kicked out. I went, and she's like,
Yeah.
she came in, she's like, you can't
had
stay. I was
car
like, oh yeah,
trouble,
you're
so I
right.
didn't
Yeah.
have a
I
car
was like,
that
no,
day,
it's-
so I
it's
couldn't
fine,
go.
totally
But yeah,
understand.
JD, if you want to include me,
Okay, cool. Yeah, it could just be you and I, Mara.
okay, that would be lovely.
And I will text Johan about that.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's anything else we really need to, because everything is pretty like obvious why we need this position, but maybe I'll just kind of like put together a little, set of bullet points or something just to reference, and I can send it to you as well, Mara. Cool.
Yeah, I think.
I
was gonna say,
Sorry.
I think from our standpoint, like, that gap it's
We don't have
it's
a liaison.
required.
Right. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even something like, we'd really like this thing. Yeah.
We need an ADA coordinator.
Yes.
Yes. And maybe that's a safer role to try to create in light of what's happening in the universe.
I mean, I hate for us to be afraid of creating that role just because of the name.
No, but
and
I do think
and carrying that name.
the intention around community outreach and support is that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So okay, if we go and we meet with them and we want to present maybe some alternative names for it if they're concerned about that, we're thinking what, a community coordinator? What were we saying?
I was saying like a community outreach
And
coordinator.
community
Coordinator.
engagement.
Yeah.
Community outreach
engagement
program.
is
Okay.
even better.
Yeah.
Cool.
My work has had some of these language issues, and engagement has become one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the heart and soul of all of it, right?
Right. Because it crosses both.
It crosses all the things.
Right.
Right.
And it's not just specifically about the commissions, but it's bigger than that.
Right. Well, it's just including everyone in town, no matter who they are.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, Amy, can you just email me those name suggestions? But I have that.
Did
Cool.
we land on community engagement coordinator?
Yes.
I think we should come in with maybe one or two, or
Director.
maybe even just in case they for some reason shoot one down.
I think it should be director.
I think it's
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
budget as a director
Right.
position.
Yeah.
I would suggest that. It just gives us someone that's got a
A
little bit
little
more
more,
experience.
yeah.
Probably a little more.
Yeah, we don't want a fresh college kid.
Well, nothing
don't
against
necessarily
professional
know
Well,
that.
there's
but-
nothing, right.
And it's about
It
it's
really
about the
depends
talent of the
on-
individual.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
but I
So
think.
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Cool.
you gotta be
All right.
in politics.
Anything else about DEI, HRIC? Anyone wants to add?
I think it's-
All right, moving right along. So the next one is the August meeting vote. Christy and I talked about this with the town manager and everybody at the meeting, of about combining our next meeting with the town manager roundtable that's occurring at the senior center. So I wanted to propose a vote if we agree to kind of do that combination. It would mean we'd be attending at the senior center. I will look into how the kind of virtual aspect of that works, just so that we're not totally agreeing to do something that is in some way inaccessible. But if we can kind of just vote right now to combine the meeting with the caveat that it has to have hybrid capability. We cool with that?
So I
Yes.
have one thing. I'm pretty certain
Yeah.
that they already are developing a link, because Senior Center does have hybrid capability. And we talked about it in our meeting with Jill and everybody. She did say that they wanted that to be the hybrid option.
Okay.
So I think
Beautiful.
we're fine there. We just need to get the link.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know.
Okay, cool.
Definitely vote for it, because it's the only night I'd be able to make it.
Yeah.
Selfishly.
So I make a motion that our next meeting date, August 28th, is actually the what are they called?
Roundtable.
Roundtables.
Yeah.
Roundtables.
Community
Yeah.
roundtable with the town manager held at the senior center.
A second.
I agree.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Say aye, aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got,
And
Karen?
It starts at 5.
It does start at 5.
It starts
So
at
that
5,
is,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, it starts
Okay.
at 5, okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
I did attend the first roundtable, and it went very well, and I was very impressed. And so impressed with just the way that the community really came together and shared around kind of a shared vision for the community and what their priorities are. Like, I thought that it went really well. I thought Jill did a wonderful job, leading the roundtable. And she did mention that the hybrid option at the senior center was happening. I had met her at one point and made that recommendation. And she has a fantastic memory because she said, "You were the one who recommended that." And so I just thought it was really nice to feel that piece of understanding the importance of that.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, anything else about that meeting we want to add, or can we move on to new business?
I think we're good.
All right. Anybody have any new business they want to add?
No, I just
No.
said my piece.
Yeah. That was more tacked on to what we were talking about before anyway. It was appropriate to that. But yeah, I don't have any new business that I can think of. I try to keep you updated if anything comes up. But thanks for attending, Steve. I really appreciate you coming out to be our liaison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to be all the time, or are you guys trading?
I think we're gonna trade depending on maybe what the agenda comes out to be, but
Cool.
yeah, we'll have someone here regardless.
Thank you.
To make sure
Thank you.
that the town's represented and part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, Ryan.
Who's kind of on the roster of potential liaisons?
I would be myself.
He just signed himself up forever.
I think Jen or Aaron, potentially Rob, depending on what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
But 4 or 5 of us can easily come in and be able to speak to whatever the items are. And at least
Awesome.
get to the right person.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks. Well, we appreciate your time, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, have my staff as part of, they're going to be, a lot of my engineers are going to be in the fields with a lot of these projects, so
Yeah.
I may have them just attend once
yeah.
or twice, just
Absolutely, just
to
to.
make sure they understand what they're watching out for and what they're looking for on these
Yeah.
projects.
Right.
Well, and if you guys ever have anything to present either
Yeah.
too, that
Right.
Yeah.
you can always-
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make sure if there is something to present, which will probably be in September with the roundtable going on, but we would probably, we can make sure we get on the agenda. So,
Cool.
Fantastic.
And I want all of them to feel comfortable speaking in the meeting. If one of us or myself proposes something that is not going to work at all or whatever, like I want them to feel comfortable speaking up and kind of letting us know, because we want all of this to come to fruition in a way that is efficient and works well for all of us. So
Absolutely.
thank you. All right, well, I guess it's 7:01 right now, so if we have a motion to adjourn the meeting, we could do that, unless anybody else has anything to add.
motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I second. I
Cool.
second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Or is that not a thing? I
Aye.
never remember. Okay. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you.
lovely weekend.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Yep, I'll work on getting that Pride post out. Bye-bye.